Hello friends, I welcome you all to this channel Exam Pandit. In this video, I will be discussing the expected question paper pattern for IBPS RRB CLERK PRE examination that is going to be held in the next month. Okay, so as you all know, the exam is scheduled to be held in the next month, that is in the month of August, soon after 1 week of IBPS RRB PO's examination. Okay, so friends, as you all know, the same pattern of question will be asked just like IBPS RRB PO. So in IBPS RRB PO and IBPS in RRB clerk preliminary examination, you will be having two important sections. One is the quant section, that is quantitative aptitude. The second one is reasoning. So, and you will be having total of 40 questions from each of these section, and for each of these question you will be having 1 mark. So total of 80 questions should be there. For that you will be having 80 marks. So 50% weightage would be there from quant, and 50% weightage from the reasoning. Okay. So as well as you will be having a composite time of 45 minutes to answer this paper. Okay. So, and one more thing is that, so in both reasoning and numerical ability or quantitative aptitude, so in IBPS RRB clerk and PO, similar, I mean these two are almost similar, but only thing is, so RRB PO is a little difficult in comparison to RRB clerk. So you will be having very easy questions in RRB clerk. So if you look at the question itself, you can be able to answer. Just by looking at the question itself, you can able to answer the question. So in this video, I will be discussing the latest pattern of the exam of office assistant. So based on the latest IBPS RRB exam pattern. Okay. So as you all know, as I mentioned already, so you'll be having two important sections. One is quantitative aptitude, another one is reasoning ability here. So before you make a move, so let me tell you, to have high standard of mock test, you can visit ibpsguide.com. The link is given in the description. So firstly, we shall discuss the first section. So that is numerical ability section. So topic from this section which can be expected in IBPS RRB clerk exam are mentioned here. The first one is simplification or approximation. So from simplification or approximation, you can expect total of 10 to 15 questions from this particular topic. And as I've already mentioned, so you need to strictly follow Bodmer's rule here, and you need to remember the tables up to 30 and squares up to 50 and the cubes up to 30. You need to be good at all these things. So firstly, to solve, to have high accuracy and to solve the questions in very less time, you should know all these things. Okay. So simplification. So see here, let me tell you, if the simplification questions are asked, you can solve it very easily without taking much time here. You will not take much time. You can solve it even, just by looking at the question itself. The second important topic here is number series. So the total number of questions expected here are 5. Okay, 5 questions should be asked from this particular topic. So the series, the pattern can be here, cube pattern, prime number pattern, square pattern, multiplication pattern, difference pattern, and so on. So that kind of pattern should be asked, and you can take up 5 marks very easily. So without putting much effort. So only thing is, you have to solve or you have to practice more number of questions of high level as well as low level questions here. Okay. So before attempting the exam, so before going for the exam, so practice as much questions as possible from number series. Okay. So the next one is quadratic equation. So if quadratic equations would not be asked normally in numerical ability, because total questions are asked from simplification and approximation. If it is 15 questions, then quadratic equation should not be asked in the exam. So but then don't take a chance. So prepare for quadratic equation as well. So if the questions are asked, so total 5 questions should be asked from this particular topic, and you can solve this quadratic equation with the help of formulas. But then I suggest you strongly not to go through. Don't try to solve the questions by using the formulas. Why? Because if you keep on solving the questions with the help of formulas, it will be taking much time. So it is always advisable to try smart methods here. Okay, so try it out, and not just, if you are good at only quadratic equation, that is not enough. So you should have an ability to connect between x and y, these two variables. So you need to make a connection between x and y here. Okay, that you need to be keep in mind. If you don't know how to deal with x and y here, or a and b here, so there is no point in solving quadratic equations here. Okay, so the next important topic is data interpretation. So the total number of questions asked from this topic are 10. Okay, so this is a very important topic which is having a high weightage. So before practicing the questions of data interpretation, so you need to be familiar with the concepts of average, percentage, ratio, profit and loss, because the questions of the data interpretation will be asked much on these topics only. So total number of questions you can expect from this topic are 10 here. Okay, so you will be asked pie graph, tabular chart or line graph. Simple questions should be asked. The questions should not be so difficult. So the level of questions should be comparatively very easy. Okay, so don't worry about the level of the questions in IBPS RRB clerk. So the level of the questions should be comparatively easy. Okay, so the last topic from this numerical ability is arithmetic based questions. So those questions are from profit and loss, so simple and compound interest, time and work, age based problems, partnership, speed, time and distance, pipes and cisterns, probability, and so on. So there will be so many such topics. So the total number of questions asked are 10 from this topic as well. Okay, so 10 plus 10, 20, 20, 30. If 10 questions are asked here, 40. Otherwise, if 15 questions are asked, quadratic equations should not be asked. So therefore, 15 plus 5, 20, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so study the concepts of each of the topics and practice good questions so that you can make it very easily. So you have to fix a time. So I will try to make the strategy video also, so that last minute tips, so that you can make a strategy before going for the exam. So practice well from now itself. Don't take a chance. So practice as many questions as possible before going for the exam, and if possible, try to take up the not if possible, you have to practice you have to take up the mock test also. So as I have already mentioned, you can take up the mock test from ibpsguide.com. So the link is already given in the description. Okay, so this is about numerical ability. So if we go ahead with the next important subject, that is reasoning ability, so it's a section of it will be having this many topics to study for. Okay, we shall go one by one here. Alright, so puzzles and seating arrangements. So see here, puzzles and seating arrangements will be having, so sequence based puzzle, scheduling based puzzle, comparison based puzzle, double lineup based puzzle, floor based puzzle. When it comes to the seating arrangement question, it is a line arrangement, circular arrangement, square arrangement, linear arrangement, and so on. So these kind of questions should be asked. So the total weightage from this topic would be 10 to 15 questions. Okay, so usually 10 to 15 questions should be asked from puzzles and seating arrangement itself. So therefore, it's a high weightage section that you need to practice on. So if you are good at this particular section, so even after you are good at this particular section, you try it out this particular questions at last. Okay, so after, when you will be having time at last, after solving all the questions, so try puzzles and seating arrangements. So don't try puzzles and seating arrangements in the beginning itself. Okay, so the next important topic is syllogisms. So syllogisms, you will be having total number of questions are 5. So in syllogism, so there are two patterns of questions should be asked. One is old pattern, another one is new pattern. So normally in reasoning ability, in IBPS RRB clerk, syllogism may not be asked, but then if syllogism is asked, so it is very easy to solve with the help of old method, and you will be asked only old method questions here. Okay, you will not be asked new method questions here, because new method will be taking much time. So and the level of new method is it will be usually asked in the main level exam only. So therefore, try syllogisms if it is asked. And as far as my knowledge is concerned, syllogism may not be asked, but then if it is asked, so whole pattern questions should be asked. Okay. The next one is coding and decoding questions. So coding and decoding questions would be asked approximately 5 questions from this particular topic. So again, in coding and decoding, so there will be 2 patterns of questions should be asked. One is old one, another one is new one. So old one is easy, so you will be having similar words, and for that there will be a coding. So you need to crack that. That's it. But when it comes to new method, it is little not little, it is of course complicated. Sometimes the logic you may not understand. So to understand the logics, you have to practice a lot. So for that reason, so what I'm trying to say here is new pattern of questions may not be asked. It will definitely not be asked in the exam. Only old pattern questions should be asked, so that you can make it very easily. The next one is inequality. So you can expect the total number of questions from inequality can be 5. So it can be direct inequalities, okay, or it can be coded inequalities. So you can anyhow, inequality questions are very easy. It will not take 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes in the actual exam. So therefore, try it out. If you come across the questions in the actual exam. So inequality is a very important section in which you can easily score 5 marks. So 5 questions should be asked from this particular topic. So it can be direct inequality or coded inequality. So try to cover up both the patterns so that you can make it in the actual exam. Alright. The next one is, so blood relation and direction sense. Let us take these 2 sections particularly here. So from blood relation and direction sense itself, you will be asked total of 5 questions. So there will be 3 questions from blood relation and remaining 2 can be from direction sense, or otherwise 2 questions from direction sense, 3 questions from direction sense and 2 questions can be from blood relations. So therefore, it is also not a very tough topic, it is a very easy one. So therefore, you can make it very easily. So practice well so that you can do it very easily in the actual exam. Okay. So the next one is, alphanumeric series. Alphanumeric series, so there will be a series of data, a series will be given in which alphabets, numbers and some signs will also be given. So based on that, what you have to do is, so you have to, certain questions should be asked based on that particular pattern of alphanumeric series. So you have to answer those questions. So that's also not so difficult. So it will not be taking more than 2 minutes, 2 to 2.5 minutes maximum to solve the questions. So 5 questions may be asked from this particular topic, and eventually order and ranking. So order and ranking, you may be asked 2 to 3 questions only. Okay. So only this much of questions should be asked in the actual exam. So it is not so difficult to crack it. So practice well so that you can do well. So you have only one strategy to crack this exam is, so practice and more practice. So therefore, it is my advice to go through this section, from these 2 topics, these 2 sections effectively and efficiently. Alright. So now I'll tell you how to choose the questions. Okay. So in numerical ability, first choose simplification, then number series, then quadratic equations, then go for data interpretation. You have to go in this order only. Okay. If time permits, go for arithmetic based questions. Otherwise, don't try it out. Okay. And when it comes to reasoning ability, firstly solve inequalities. Okay. So firstly solve inequalities. Then after that syllogism. Then coding and decoding. So if alphanumeric series is asked, you just try it out. Then blood relations and direction sense. Okay. So blood relations and direction sense. Then order and ranking. Then at last, if time permits, time usually will be permitting you, because only only very simple questions should be asked in the exam. So therefore, you can try puzzles and seating arrangements at the last. Okay. So why I am telling you in this way means, so puzzles and seating arrangements can be taken at last, because if you are not going to take it at last, so if you are going to try it out in the beginning, so you have to be very strong in this particular section. If you are not enough strong to deal with in the exam, so you may not do it properly. So sometimes there is a possibility of that you may hang up with a similar same question for more long time, and there's a possibility that you may not solve the questions even after taking much time also. So therefore, it is always not to try this section in the beginning. Okay, so you have to follow only this way, right? So this is about reasoning ability. So these kind of questions should be asked in the actual exam. Okay, so friends, this is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day ahead. Before ending up this session, I request you to subscribe to the channel, like the video, share the video with your friends, and if you have any doubts, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good day ahead.